Region, Comedy Off Broadway. And today's show is fantastic because we got a guy here in our little podcast that has been killing it with Preacher Lawson this weekend.
Oh, thank you.
And
I was wondering what you were going to say when you said the best club in. And I was like, are you going to go world?
No,
country?
Region. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a top 5 club, but it's Bryan Vokey.
Sorry, I got your name.
No, it's all right. It's fine. No, it was rated top 5 club in the nation. So
I agree.
Yeah, it's a storied club. It has quite a history to it.
It's the perfect shape.
It really is. And it's a simple square. People don't understand. Like, we were talking about the other night about comedy clubs where, like, you got people sitting backwards.
Yeah,
like,
I know. When they put the tables perpendicular to the stage so everybody's shoulder is facing you.
Right. It's just like, man, it's like, and everybody's kind of turned.
I know. And there's always like 40-year-old lady who refuses to make an effort to turn over.
Right.
And then you lose your mind.
Yeah. Because we want to see your face. We want to see your face. That's how it is when we perform. So you're a California guy. You started in Oakland, I recall.
Yep. Yeah.
And,
I started comedy in Oakland.
And then you moved through the Bay Area.
Yeah,
and then you've got a show. Do you still do that show with Christian at Adrenaline? Or
Christian Piper? He's a Kentucky comic originally.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he started. He moved to Utah after that. Like he started in Wise Guys, but yeah, he's a Kentucky dude. He's from. I wish I could remember that. He's from this tiny town. Anyway, he moved to New York. So.
Oh, okay.
So I'm doing Adrenaline. I fly out tomorrow morning. And then I land and I go straight to the Hollywood Improv and do Adrenaline.
Fantastic.
Tomorrow night.
How does that show? That show's got to be fun.
That show's great. So it used to be a challenge show. We used to have like a bucket on stage and you'd pull out a challenge. You had to do your set like in a dark corner with no microphone or like you'd have to take suggestions from the crowd, whatever. It was real silly, but I'm lazy.
Okay.
And so when Christian moved, I wasn't about to print out the challenges and bring a bucket. That's too much for me.
Too much to work.
So it's just a regular stand-up show now, and it's great. It's great running a room, running a show in a like this club where it's like you don't have when you're running an independent show and it's at a bar.
Yeah.
It's tough to get bigger names to trust you to come
to
the bar. So it's like, hey, this is at the Hollywood Improv. They're like, I work there anyway, so no problem. Yeah,
that's awesome.
So the show's in New York?
No.
That's good.
The comic who I ran it with moved to New York.
Oh, moved to New York. Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, man, you live in L.A. and going all the way to New York and do a show?
No, I get $15 for that show. I'm not flying.
$15.
$15.
Yeah, I'm not flying. Sold out. 2 people show up. Doesn't matter. $15.
Okay. Hey.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, that's why I always take Joe Deuce's line. Comics make tens of dollars a year.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. My friend Carmen. I run a podcast called No Sir, I Don't Like It with my friend Carmen Morales, and she has this line where she's like, "This is the best job. You make about $300 an hour." She said, "I worked about 6 hours last year." So.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like that. So,
How is that podcast going?
It's great, man. It's what's cool is that I lucked out with her because she's like a 10-year road dog, and so she knows everybody.
Nice.
So she can get good guests, and we've had like Maria Bamford on there and Kyle Kinane. It's been fun. It's just we just make people make a list of things that have been bothering them lately, and we let them gripe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's nice.
So it's kind of like free therapy.
Sure. Yeah.
Say it like that.
Yeah.
That works. I like that idea, actually. We've been doing this podcast since October. Or September.
Something like that.
Yeah. And, thankfully we get a lot of good names. What's really awesome is like one of the comics that I actually got to do one of my shows, like at this place called Twisted Cork with Stuart Huff.
I love Stuart Huff.
Stuart is fantastic.
I was actually just talking to Scott's son, Garrett, about how much I think he's a genius.
He is. He's so highbrow with the things he talks about.
I know, and he gets like real rednecks on board.
He does
with real highbrow stuff. I'm jealous.
He probably is definitely the best comic that nobody really knows about.
Well,
I mean honestly, in our area we know about him, but
right.
I
just don't think he gets enough credit.
Didn't he win something in Indianapolis?
I'm sure any competition he's in, I'm sure he's going to win.
sweeps. Yeah.
I mean, the guy is brilliant, and we're on the same label as him, On Tour Records.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so he's going to come in and do the podcast, so we're all
that's great.
stoked about that.
Yeah, I've
'cause
never met him.
He's fantastic.
I'm a fan.
Yeah,
He's absolutely the most humble guy you'll ever meet.
absolutely.
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, he'll
what
talk
does he
to
have to be cocky about?
But that's true.
Burn.
I mean, I've just spent 5 minutes calling him a genius. Obviously, I respect him.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
That's too funny.
Yeah.
So you're with Preacher this weekend, and you guys are really good friends.
Yes, he's a dear friend. I'll never forget the first time I met him. He moved out here. We did an open mic at this club in Burbank, and he did 3 minutes. And the thing about Preacher is, if he doesn't do a full hour, he gets so much adrenaline on stage that he walked off stage and ran a lap around the club after an open mic set. He was like, I just get so excited. And he ran an entire. So that like high energy stuff you see on stage is 100% how he is all the time.
Yeah, and he is high energy.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's exhausting.
I mean, he does a lot of physical stuff with jumping around and stuff, and it's just like he gets height. You know?
I know. I saw a picture of him on Instagram, and both his feet were above the mic stand.
That's crazy.
Wow.
That's crazy.
I was like, I'm just sitting here trying to write. I didn't know I had to dunk a basketball.
That's awesome. I swear that this show this weekend's been so much fun.
Yeah, he's been great. It's been fun. The crowds have been awesome. And you know what I love with the featuring is just the people coming up to me and the way they compliment the feature is so funny.
Yeah.
They're like, I didn't think you'd actually be funny, but you were really funny. Or like, I was shocked.
Well, you should ask them, like, so what is it about me you don't think is funny?
No, they don't.
Put them on the spot.
But you got to think about it. I already know what their answer is because they don't come to, I mean.
Well, that's what makes it funnier.
Yeah. They don't come to clubs, so they're like, oh, I got to sit through a guy before I see the guy I want to see.
And he's white.
Yeah.
You know, how funny is this guy going to be?
Turns out really funny.
Turns out.
There it is.
That's what they said. They said, you were really funny. Go figure.
Yeah, I know.
That the headliner would bring someone who's funny.
I'm not always like that. Not always like that.
No.
Sometimes the headliner just brings a guy who knows how to keep him off drugs.
Oh. Yeah, we've heard some Frankie Bastille stories, so yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking Pablo Francisco.
Okay, there's no, yeah, it didn't help Pablo out too much, did it?
I think he's all right now.
I hope so.
He's been working a lot in L.A., so.
When he came here, he killed it that
dude.
weekend. God, he's so funny.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's just, and he's nice.
He's a beast.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
On that
yeah,
stage, and it's just, he's constantly talking, like he doesn't shut up through his whole entire set.
Yeah, I can't
It's
be
awesome.
like that. It's just like, that's why people like Nate Bargatze were talking about him off mic. Like, that's why they give me hope, because I'm just like, I can't muster up the energy to be like this, like these high energy dudes. I can't do it.
Yeah, Nate's very subdued. He's funny. We had him on the podcast. He was awesome. God.
That's cool. Yeah. So this is fun. This is my first weekend with Preacher since America's Got Talent.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's pretty insane.
It's got to be, because, I mean, the guy came really close, and the little bitch.
I think it's better he lost. We talked
Really?
about this. Yes, because now he gets to open his setup with all this fake bitterness
about
losing, and he's got the fan base.
Yeah.
And, I just think sometimes I think it's better to have that little extra chip on your shoulder.
Maybe.
But
Well, that first bit he does where he slams the mic down
I know.
is hilarious.
It's so funny.
It's like we all didn't know what to expect when he was coming. So when he did that, I mean, basically opens with it.
Yeah.
We were like, okay, we like this guy. This is awesome.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Man, everybody here is so nice. The whole staff's so nice. I was talking last night to one of the bartenders. It's just like every club I go to, it seems like they're all about to stick a knife into each other. Because you guys, it was such close quarters working in a comedy club.
Yeah.
It just seems like this place is just kind of happy.
Well, most of us feel very blessed to be here.
Yeah.
For the most part, we all get along really well. And it's a family environment here, and I think that's the way Jordan.
Yeah, you'll
wants it.
notice the employees here all get along very well.
so
It's
weird.
like they'll come in from the beginning. I don't even work here, and they're joking with each other, and they're hugging on each other, and telling everybody their stories. And
It's true.
yeah.
Very true.
So I don't know.
Where were you going with that?
I wasn't going anywhere with that.
I feel like both me and you were on the same page. Where it's
No,
like, I don't understand that
but it's
attitude.
unusual. It's kind of like what you were saying, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
unusual
It's
because
very
you
unusual.
don't see that in a work environment. But here, everyone gets along.
Yeah.
Everyone's got each other's back.
Yeah.
And that's awesome.
And we pride ourselves in taking good care of the people that come in here.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
It's about service. It's about customer service. You guys, the talent.
All right, now you're starting to feel like a boss that's telling me I'm not doing a good job. Listen, we need to take care of these people.
After reviewing your last performance eval,
Yeah.
No, I think he's doing pretty good.
You know what's funny is last night we were walking in between shows. We stopped back at the hotel. This lady stopped me and she was like, "I just thought you were so funny and it's so great how you don't drop the F-bomb." And I just wanted to be like, "Can you give me that business card back? Because I only don't say fuck when I'm with Preacher." like my normal set is very gnarly.
Is it very gnarly?
Yeah, it's very gnarly.
Yeah, you correct me if I'm wrong, obviously, but like you tend to stray towards more of the aggressive, weird like angles on things.
Yes.
And that's why I love when you're opening at your set and you're doing something very innate and people like start moaning about that and you're like, oh,
It's getting worse.
yeah, if this is gonna bother you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Imagine if I, was unrestrained. It's yeah. I've seen a lot of people get up and walk away from
Really?
sets. Yeah. Oh yeah. So it's funny because like all these sweet people are getting like this business card or whatever. Because I forgot all my merch on the store, so I went to Kinko's yesterday in the morning and made this crappy business card with my social media on it. And I'm like, maybe just don't check it out. I don't know.
Right.
if Preacher's your guy, maybe I'm not
Yeah.
for you.
That's too funny. Yeah, I swear though, it seems like he is just such a nice guy.
Oh, he's the best.
And
Yeah.
you're a nice guy. And the two of you together, you like the West Coast Nice Guy Tour. That's what it is. Yeah. Now, you said when you guys were first starting, you guys actually were starting together, right?
Oh, no. I meant we started, because here's the thing. When you move to LA, you're starting over.
Okay.
100%. You could be.
I've heard that before.
You could be headlining, and you'll have to do open mics and stuff when you go
Yeah.
to LA. It's just impossible to get on stage. Everybody lives there.
Right.
Like, I'm competing with Bill Burr when I'm there. So
Jesus.
it's like, what am I going to do?
Right.
I can't complain about anything. So we moved to LA at the same time. We both had already been doing comedy for a while.
Gotcha.
But we started out in LA, which is just like starting all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was giving him rides and all this stuff to Mike's and stuff because he was like,
So you guys legit are friends?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Not just like, hey, we're hanging out this weekend.
No, I'm friends with his girlfriend. I'm friends with him. I know his brothers.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
I've met his mom. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. You
Yeah.
need someone small.
is.
I know.
That's a big deal. Jeez.
So
I wouldn't even let Josh meet my mom, but that's another story.
That's fair.
well, I'm a Jew.
He would. Yeah, he'd probably try to.
My mom wouldn't
He'd probably
like
try
it.
to build a house in her front lawn.
Oh, I like him. I like this guy.
Give me that address. It's not a problem. It's not a problem at all.
There you go.
You
Already
forgot what I
on
was
my
gonna ask
side.
you, Dick. Okay, so you're in LA.
Yes.
All right, so you started in Oakland, California.
Yeah,
Started
yeah.
doing comedy there.
Yeah.
That's rough. That had to be really rough.
No, because you got to remember, about 6 miles across the water is San Francisco.
Okay, so did you go to San Francisco
All
or-
the time. It did
Oh,
It just when you start out in the Bay Area, you're doing the whole Bay Area.
Nice.
You're going up to Santa Rosa. You're going to Petaluma. You're doing the South San Jose. You're doing San Francisco,
See,
Oakland.
That's the thing we don't have here. We don't have a ton of places we can go to.
I know. That's where I was really lucky to start out in a city that, because you don't want to start in LA or New York because you don't want to be seen too early,
Right.
Because people will just remember you
You'll
forever
remember you
as
for being
awful.
bad. Right.
Yeah.
No, that's true.
So that's why cities like Chicago, Bay Area, Florida even are all over is a better place to be because you have endless stage time, but nobody cares.
Right.
You can grow in obscurity, which is nice.
Yeah, and you do need all that stage time. You
Oh
have
my
to have
God.
it.
Yeah, I still need so much more.
Oh,
God, so much more.
Yeah,
if
we
anybody
had-
out there has any, can I please have it?
right. You heard it here, folks.
Well, we had a comedian in the same situation. It was Chris Porter.
Yeah.
He was in St. Louis, and he said he was there for 7-8 years.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I went to LA, so I was starting over, and
Yeah.
then he ended up on Was he on Last Comic Stand?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So basically, he had the same idea. He's like, I was growing in St. Louis, and he's like, everyone knew who I was there. I was there for 7, 8 years. I went to LA, start over.
Nothing.
Now his career's taking
And
off, and
yeah.
it's crazy. But those first 7, 8 years really mean nothing at this
Yeah,
point.
I mean, they mean everything as far as preparing you for an
Right.
opportunity.
Right.
Right.
But yeah, with Chris, it's funny too, or not with Chris, but like when you have a home club in another town and then you move to LA and all the headliners are like, hit me up when you get to LA, hit me up when you get to LA, and then you get to LA, nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
there's 10 home club people moving to LA a day.
Yeah.
You know? And so it's, you think you're moving out there with all these contacts and you're getting nothing more than a, hey, what's up, buddy? That's
Right.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, everybody wants something. It's,
Sure.
Yeah, if you're weak-minded, it's the worst place to be.
Oh, it's got to be.
Yeah, with just the constant rejection and the degrading sets. It's just
What's the worst time you had on stage
ever.
ever?
That would be in San Francisco. So
Okay.
the first place I was doing this. Actually, it was called Brainwash. It just closed. It was the longest-running open mic in San Francisco. 19-year open mic in a laundromat.
At a
Laundromat.
laundromat.
Hosted by the great Tony Sparks, my comedy mentor. And I was doing a set. It was probably the third set I ever did. And there was this guy sweating like too much. He was on drugs,
Okay.
sweating way too much. And,
Yeah.
and the club is the walls are all windows, so you can just see right out onto the street in San Francisco. And the guy was outside the laundromat just doing push-ups like crazy. Just push-ups. And he gets up before me, and he gets on stage, and this will actually make you laugh because I remember his first joke. He's just said, all he said is, my mom is Jewish and my dad is Catholic, so
You steal my shit?
all he said was, so I'm sure you can imagine. And that was all he said. There was no joke.
Okay.
And then nobody laughed,
Right.
and he lost his mind. He flipped out, and he's a white guy, and he started screaming in Chinese.
Nice.
And
Nice.
then this Chinese comic, she was like, your Chinese sucks. And he looks at her, he goes, my Chinese sucks, your Chinese sucks, you whore. And he picks up a chair, throws it at her.
Holy shit.
She ducks, it hits the window, cracks the window, and then he just runs off stage screaming. He's like PCP or something.
Holy crap.
And he comes out of the door, and you can see it through the window, and you can hear him screaming through the window, and he punches a homeless guy who's sitting, because there's always homeless guys sitting in front of the laundromat.
Sure.
Just punches him, runs down the street, and then the guy who runs that open mic is from South Central, and he's like a tough dude, and he also conveniently was a cross-country runner, and so he sprints out after the guy down the middle of the road on like Folsom, which is a busy road in downtown San Francisco.
Sure.
And tackles him. And then I have to go, they keep the show going, and I have to
Oh.
go up next.
Oh, so that wasn't really your fault.
But here's what my fault
No, but
was.
that setup is awful.
I did not know how to address things yet. You know how you
Right.
got to address the room. So I just tried to do my jokes straight through, and there was just like some awful anal sex joke that was like
Oh,
garbage.
wow.
And I'm like trying to tell this joke while they're stitching up. There's literally a homeless guy getting stitched right outside the window right here.
Wow.
There's cops taking an incident report, and I'm just like talking about just garbage stuff, and I did not acknowledge anything. I could have had an incredible moment right there, just
That's true.
like, holy shit, did you guys see that? If I
Talking
just
about
said-
the elephant in the room.
yeah. And I just didn't know how to do that yet.
Ah,
It was brutal.
my God, that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
My Chinese sucks, your Chinese sucks.
Yeah, you could have at least addressed the Chinese lady in the room.
I know. I did nothing. I was an idiot. I was still scared.
Well, I mean,
You know, it's funny though, when
Well.
when he ran down the street, me and this guy Zach, who's a comic in San Francisco, the first thing we did, we ran to the sign-up sheet and added him on Facebook because we wanted to see how crazy the guy was.
That's smart.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you were in the military. Thank you for your service, sir.
No, dude, I was asked to leave early.
You were asked to leave early?
Yes, I was asked to leave early.
What happened there?
I talked about it kind of this weekend. That's a long story. I don't feel like getting into. But at the end of it was saying that they said I had a personality disorder. they said that I had oppositional defiance disorder. They said that it's
Basically,
I
you
didn't-
don't listen.
Yeah. They said
That's
I,
basically what it is.
they said I had a disease where I couldn't follow rules.
Oh.
Basically, I don't know.
They threw you out of the military for that?
Apparently.
Yeah.
Wow.
I got an honorable discharge. It's a long. It would make more sense sense if I went into it, but it's
Do you have
too
comedy skit about this?
about getting kicked out of the army? Yeah. I've been doing it here this weekend, like a
okay.
real mild version of it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome though.
Yeah.
It's, just to have that deal to say that. Now you were what you were
Army.
31,
I was a 25 Romeo.
25 Romeo.
But I was reclassified, even though I was a 33 whiskey, this is boring stuff, but it was military.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. Just I did maintenance and operation on intelligence equipment.
Cool.
So I had to get like an ultra top secret clearance, TSSCI.
So that's their fault for making you that way then.
Yes.
That's totally their fault.
Yep. They hired me for being smart, and then they kicked me out for being smart.
Yeah. That's what it sounds like.
Yep.
But you're in good company. Jimi Hendrix, George Carlin.
Yep.
Both.
Richard Pryor.
Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
Ice-T. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ice-T was a Ranger.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
He was a ranger?
He was a Ranger.
I didn't know that
Oh my
either.
God.
Yeah. And it all kind of just had that disorder.
Yeah.
Because George Carlin, he actually went through many ranks going up in line. Like he was an E1 like
he
4
got
different
busted
times.
down. Yeah.
Because he had he would constantly tell his supervisors to fuck off. They'd be like, "Hey, where are you going? Fuck you." All right, get over here.
Yeah.
I mean, it was constantly like that.
I was trying to get kicked out for a while, and one of the things I did was I went AWOL to see Iron Maiden in Columbus, Ohio. I was stationed in Fort Gordon, Georgia.
Awesome.
I went to Ohio, and this is how messed up the Army is. I was gone for 10 days.
Okay.
No, didn't tell anybody, and I was like, "This'll do it." Which, by the way, I was asking for a dishonorable discharge at that point, which is just not good.
No.
And then I get back. I'm expecting everything. I'm expecting them to throw the book at me. They did not report me AWOL because the weekend that I left, they had an HHQ sergeant get a DUI. They had a domestic abuse charge a couple days after that, and then they busted 3 people for cocaine and a random urinalysis.
So their plate was full.
They didn't want to report me because they were worried about their unit looking so bad.
Yeah.
And they were like, "We knew you'd come back."
And you're like, "What the hell, guys?"
I know. I couldn't even screw up enough.
Couldn't even screw up enough. Yeah.
in that way to get out.
I love
You
that.
should have just taken cocaine. You'd have been all right.
I had the hardest. Actually, I never did drugs when I was growing up, and the reason why I ever did drugs in my life was to try to fail urinalysis. But it turns out they only test 13% of the piss in the Army because they'd have no Army if they tested 100% of the piss.
That makes sense.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I feel that.
I wish I spent 16 years and I never knew that.
Yeah, they test 13%.
He's obviously smarter than me.
No, he's very smart. He's so smart he couldn't get kicked out of the army.
You know what's funny? I always have that I don't know how to underachieve properly because right now I have a day job right now, and I do event management for a venue. So we have weddings or any kind of thing can go down in this venue. It's like a fancy old 1920s building, and I make sure they have everything they need for it or whatever.
Gotcha.
And I try super hard to be middle of the road because I need the job because they let me do weekends. They come to shows. They're very supportive of me.
Nice.
Which is great, but I try not to be too reliable, but because now they asked me at work the other day to train a new employee because they were like, "You're our best driver or whatever. I need you to train this new employee." And I'm like, "What are the other people not doing or doing?
How can I learn?
How am I? I try so hard to be just real middle of the road. I don't want to get fired. I need the job until comedy does better. But I don't want them to rely on me. And somehow these other guys are worse than me. And they're not in any business. This is their only job. They're
Right.
not trying to act or be a comedian or anything. So they should be trying to move up.
Sure.
And somehow, I don't know. It's hard to underachieve. It is.
So hilarious.
I don't know.
Some people do it naturally.
I know. I'm reading books about how to underachieve, and I'm doing a bad job about it.
Reading books to learn how to underachieve.
They have those kind of books.
Do they have those? A demotivational speaker?
If they don't, they need to, damn it. Hey, if anybody's listening to this that wants to write a demotivational book, please send it to the show, and we'll make sure we get it to Bryan.
Well, maybe, Bryan, you need to do it.
Maybe I'll write the demotivational
You need to
book.
do it.
That's the name of your book right there. There it is.
How to underachieve properly. 100 ways to underachieve properly. But I'm the last one to write the book.
And who knows, 10 years from now, you might be like national touring comedian. And you can tell everybody, you're like, I was trying to fail as a comedian and I couldn't. Now look at me. You guys are paying me to sit here and tell you jokes.
And you know that's what's going to happen.
I
Yeah,
I
that's
said
what's
10
gonna
years ago, 10 years from now, I'll be a nationally touring comedian. I'm in Kentucky right now.
He's nationally touring now.
I'm already touring.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, I'm an ass.
Did you think I
You
lived
said
here?
it.
Well,
Did we go to high
you're
school
talking all
together?
about. You're talking about all this negativity. I was trying to help you out.
10 years from now, a decade.
10 years from now, maybe I'll be right where I am right now at the moment.
No, see, that would be so depressing, right?
I would, yeah. I mean, if I was headlining, I'd love to. I mean, this room's great. I'd love to come back once.
Oh,
a
you
year.
could.
Oh,
Yeah. If you headline here, that'd
Yeah.
be pretty awesome.
Absolutely.
Get your
Yeah,
name
the
on that
lineups are
wall
great.
outside.
I saw some of the. I looked at the schedule. You guys got some of my favorite people coming soon.
Like who?
Tim Dillon,
Oh, yeah.
big Tim Dillon. You get him on your. He will crush.
Yeah.
This podcast. That guy just.
I
talks.
hope he'll do it.
He just talks.
Do you know who talked? And like, I got 3 sentences in the entire podcast. Lavelle Crawford.
Oh, I believe that.
My God.
Yeah. And it was-
Man can talk. I mean, that just.
That's probably your highest listened to episode, right?
Nate Bargatze and Ron Sexton are the.
Oh.
Yeah, Donnie Baker.
Yeah.
Those two they're crushing the numbers. Actually, Nephew Tommy's
Nephew
like coming
Tommy
up-
was
coming apart, too.
probably the top
He's got
one
like
right now.
millions of followers. It's crazy.
Yeah, Nephew Tommy's up there.
Yeah.
Wow, that's nice.
And this podcast,
Oh.
everybody be following this one.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Preacher said he's coming.
Okay.
He said he forgot coming down. He said that at 6:29, 5:29.
Okay.
Okay.
It's
And there he
There.
is.
Hey.
And look who just walked through the door.
Finally, I started having to tell family secrets to fill time.
And we're welcoming to the show right now who just got here, Preacher Lawson. You
up,
can
bro?
put those on.
What's up, man?
So you can hear us a little bit better. And we're glad you're here, man.
I was just telling him about how much I beat you in go-karts.
I destroyed him.
I
It
didn't-
was
we
so
haven't talked
bad.
about it at all.
Oh, man, I destroyed everybody.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
There you go.
It was like, no bumping. Okay. Yeah, whatever.
What is this place that we did the go-karts? I don't even know.
I don't think we
Place
can.
in Lexington that does go-karts.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
What was it called?
Maybe it was in Nicholasville.
I mean, it probably was. Yeah, it probably wasn't here. I mean, it was like.
It's
I don't
12
know, like
minutes away.
12 minutes away.
Oh, yeah, it probably is Nicholasville.
Oh, interesting.
I have no idea.
Well,
It was Groupon, bro.
It was
Groupon.
I let Preacher win because he's giving me work, and I want to respect him.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
Why'd you let 4 people other win? 4 other
Because I
people
wanted
win?
you to feel like you really crushed,
Okay, yeah. Okay. This man,
I also-
I lapped him. He was behind me. Then I passed him again. Okay.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah, man.
But I used my blinker. I was safe.
Well, that's okay. You've already lapped him in life, so
Yeah.
it's all good now,
That's-
right?
yeah,
Is that
that's-
true, Brian?
So we
I was on your side earlier in this podcast, but
Well, you were
I knew it
being
would
all
happen.
negative.
Okay,
You're
so
talking about
what are we talking about?
he was talking about how he was trying to fail in life and how he can't.
Well, kinda.
Yeah, see,
You missed a lot. I wasn't.
That's not super negative. It's like I'm so good, I can't fail. You know what I mean?
That's
I-
that's essentially what he
exactly
said.
what I was saying. There you go. I don't know how to
not
underachieve.
He doesn't know how to achieve.
we've been getting to know Brian, and now that Preacher's here, man, first off, welcome. Glad you came.
Thank you for having me.
And oh no, it's our pleasure. You've been killing it this weekend. You got first show sold out already. Second show's heading that way. So tonight
Dope.
should be fantastic.
We added 5 more seats at the go-kart place.
You said what?
We added 5 more seats at the go-kart
Oh, yeah,
place.
Oh, you're promoting it?
Remember, because
Oh, four more.
4
Yeah,
more seats. Yeah. We got people coming to the show from the go-kart thing. This
Yeah,
guy's the
yeah,
most charming dude ever.
Well,
It's really real charm when I say free tickets. Yeah.
Hey, it doesn't work when I say free tickets. Yeah.
Was it just a group
Well,
of girls?
well, you also not. It was one girl.
Yeah.
She was. Yeah, I just invited her to. I don't know how we got on the subject. I think she was. She asked what we were doing in town or something.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
Oh, we're comedians, and then
Yeah.
you should come to the show tonight. I'll get your tickets. Oh my gosh, my whole family wants to. No, listen. You always do.
Can't
that.
bring the bus?
I know, right? I know, right? But I said the second show because I don't think the second show is sold out. So, but if we have room, if we don't have room, I would happily tell her.
I had asked before. I think the second show is probably going to be sold out too.
yeah,
as well.
it was.
I mean,
It was about 75%.
Yeah.
Last time I looked.
Oh, so it's probably sold out.
so it's probably
It's-
sold out.
it's gonna head that way.
Okay, well
for
I'll let
sure.
her know it's sold out. Be like, hey, you can come through, but you got to buy tickets.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's gonna be
As
a lot
they
of
should.
walk-ups.
As
Yeah,
they
yeah,
should.
yeah, for sure.
So,
It's gonna be fun tonight, man. It's gonna be fun. Kentucky's great. They laugh.
They
laugh
do
pretty
laugh.
hard. Yeah,
Is
right.
this
They
first
laugh
time
pretty
you've been in
hard.
Kentucky?
It's pretty. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not the first time. I keep saying that on stage.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
no,
okay.
it's not the first. I think I've been through it a few times, but I haven't. First time performing in Kentucky. Yes. Like last time I was in Kentucky, I think I was. It was like maybe 10 years ago. You know what I mean? Like probably more, like 12 years ago.
Nice.
So I wasn't like performing anything. I just happened to be in Kentucky.
Yeah.
I did the a couple months, or about 6 months ago. I did the Caravan in Louisville.
Okay.
And you could fit the entire weekend combined into one show that
Yeah.
we've done this weekend.
That club is, I mean,
Yeah.
it just switched owners, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
struggling. It's trying to get its feet on
It's
the
an
ground.
awesome room. Though.
It's a great room.
It's
a
an
great
awesome-
It just doesn't get A-list
No,
comedians
it
at
does
all.
not.
And this
No,
place,
I
by
just said
far.
I was there. So
See, I'm trying to help this guy out. He doesn't want to help himself.
It's good, man. It's not a self-help podcast, is it?
It's not a self-help
Yeah,
podcast.
man.
Matter of fact-
We laugh off our,
yeah.
our struggles.
Oh yeah. You got to. I mean, if you have, no iron skin, you're not going to make it in this
No,
business.
not at all.
There's just
I
no
was just
way.
telling him how LA just because I was saying that we started out together in LA.
Yeah.
And I was like,
That's
because
crazy,
you start over in LA, so
Yeah.
you know what I mean. So you're starting from scratch. And I was giving rides in my awful car. Remember that car I had?
Yeah, the $900 car.
Yeah.
that you got a
$900
It was
car.
$900. I remember it. I was like, really? You got a car for $9? This is not gonna last. This is not gonna last.
Yeah, not in LA.
It's got duct tape holding the doors on. I mean,
Yeah, so-
It was jacked up.
all
Hey,
right.
he
has
didn't even
that.
have a car at the time.
No, I didn't have a car. I went from no car to a skateboard to a bike.
Yep.
A bicycle, not a
Yep.
bike. A bicycle.
Yeah. Rolling
And,
up to the comedy store. On your
Yeah,
bicycle.
yeah. Now I got a motorcycle. Like it's just the transition.
You'll get to 4 wheels soon, man.
I don't want 4 wheels in LA.
No.
No, I don't want. I'm good.
So, Preacher, let me ask you. I have heard people compare you to Eddie Murphy. I've heard people compare you to Kevin Hart. How does that make you feel?
I don't like comparisons.
You don't
at
like
all.
comparisons?
No, because it doesn't spew originality. I think that I think the comparison to Eddie Murphy, I think is great. I'll take that because he's not now. Kevin Hart is still now.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So it's like when you're comparing, like LeBron gets compared to Jordan.
All the time.
That's how good he is. Like Jordan's not even playing anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, no one's like, he's not better than no one's. LeBron's like he's not being compared to anyone that's playing right now, kind of thing. You know
Right.
Because if you do, it's kind of like, I don't know. I just think we're different. Like me, and if you think I'm close to Eddie, like I think the only thing that has any similarities is we talk fast. That's it. I don't think our material's not the same.
No, not at all.
I think I'm a little more physical in my act outs.
You are.
A lot more
you
physical
are.
in my act outs. I don't do any impressions. I
No.
don't do one impression in my act.
You
Kevin
haven't
Hart,
singing?
yeah. I don't know if they sing. Kevin Hart, he's like he tells stories. He does I do more jokes. Like we're just different.
Yeah.
I think when people compare me to Kevin Hart or Eddie Murphy, they don't know any black comedians. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They've never heard of Arnold J. They never heard of. You know what I mean? Like it's just they never heard of a lot of comedians. And those are the main comedians. Like who's the biggest black comedian? Who's the biggest black comedian?
Kevin Hart.
Yeah, Kevin Hart.
Dave
Eddie-
Chappelle?
yeah, well, I mean, but Dave Chappelle's not energetic, so they're like, who's energetic and black? You know, so like, so I don't.
Right.
But I don't like that. I don't like the comparisons. I mean,
I think you're closer to Bruce, really, you know?
I think I take it as a compliment because I know they're trying to compliment me, but I don't. I mean, really, I don't like comparisons. I'd rather someone be like, "Oh, you're funny."
All right, so
Now, I think that
stop comparing them, people.
yeah, but I mean, I think after a while, people are, you know, after some years, they're gonna be like, "Oh, he's a preacher."
Yeah.
No one's gonna be comparing me to, you know what I mean? You're like, "Oh, preacher's preacher."
No, you hit that stage. There's no one that has your energy level. I haven't seen. I mean, and Greg Hahn comes through here, and Greg Hahn is
Oh, man.
a ball of energy.
Yeah, I opened up for him.
And good God, people must have been dead after
Yeah,
that show.
it was insane. It was like,
must have been.
it's
Then
like
he
the
was like,
Olympic trials.
But I mean, your energy on stage, it's electric. You lit this room up. Like, it's amazing.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
No, and your professionalism is unheard of as well.
Thank you.
And a lot of people have commented on that, and I think that's awesome.
thank you.
So I had a question from one of our listeners. They wanted to know, what was life like after AGT?
Life, well, I have a lot more friends and family members. It's pretty cool. I don't have to worry about money issues. Like I was telling Bryan the other day, I was like, never remember, but I was like, I remember. But I used to go to the store and look at the good can of beans, and I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna have to use some extra seasening because I can't afford the good can of beans. You know what I mean? Which is like 20 cents more.
You ever get the can of beans that are from a different grocery store brand in a different?
Yes.
Like you'll be at a grocery store and you're like, "There's no Kroger's in California. Why are there Kroger beans in this grocery store? How did they get here?"
At the Ralph's, yeah. So it's pretty cool not having to worry about money anymore. But it's definitely more pressure.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, what's next?
Sure.
You know, so I mean, it's just more pressure, a little more. You know, people think I make more than I make, though. You know, and I do fine, but people think I make way more than I make. You know, and yeah, but it's good. I'm definitely blessed to be in this position. I'm happy to do stand up, man. I mean, I'm just happy to be doing stand-up. You know, I don't have any other job. I don't have to do anything extra. Well, I do have to do extra stuff like social media and like YouTube and all these other videos. I have to do that. You know, you can't just do one thing. Donald Glover messed it up for everybody.
Right?
But it's pretty. It's just pretty cool. It's still weird for me. It's still weird. A year later.
Yeah, you've got a huge fan following, and there are fans that come through here to see their favorite acts that are up on stage. And we get sometimes headliners that they go up to the green room, they ignore everybody. Not you.
No.
You show so much love to your fans, pictures and the hugs and the leaving Snapchats, and to me it's remarkable. I've only seen one other. Steve-O was like that. Steve-O's very devoted to his fans.
For sure.
And
you know what? I was like, you do that, and they're a fan for life now. You know what I mean? So it's like, and then I do it, and then like what happens is, they start telling their friends, they start posting on social media, and then people start seeing it, like, oh, he's in town, and then they'll more people come. That's why it always happens like these last couple shows always start selling out.
Yeah.
Because they're like, people, you know, they do networking for me. Like they do all the social media for me. I say, tag me in the photos, they tag me in the photos, and I just love my fans, man. Like I really love, you know, I keep saying I was homeless 2 years ago, man. Like they changed my life. They keep saying, I'm sorry you didn't win. I'm like, I won. Like I get to do this for the rest of my life.
Right.
I'm happy. So I appreciate everyone that comes through to, you know, come watch me, you know, do some jokes or whatever. They paid their money. So, I mean, I think me spending time with them afterwards with pictures is part of the package.
Dude, there's this rock and roll vibe with Preacher that I've never seen in person with, and the only person I can think to compare it to, which is funny because the material is so different, is Andrew Dice Clay.
I was going to say, he doesn't like comparisons.
Yeah. But with Andrew Dice Clay, when I was watching that as a kid, because my dad loved him, I watched that growing up.
Me too.
But people wanted to hear bits they already heard.
Yeah.
And they like a song. And like people want to hear these AGT bits, and like it's almost like you're doing a song, like because huge comedians, even like Louis C.K. or some people complain about how like I gotta have new material because if I go in front of my crowd, like if they've already heard a joke, they're annoyed, even though he's huge, you know. So watch them want to hear things they've already heard before. It almost transcends into like a rock and roll thing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I remember when I first started going on tour, I try to take out all the AGT. I didn't do one AGT joke.
Sure.
I didn't do one. And I would get off stage and people would complain. They're like, you didn't do the clap joke? You didn't do the limp catfish thing? And they would get mad. And I was like, all right, well, maybe it's just this crowd. And it kept happening.
Yep.
And I was like, well, I need the time anyway. Like, because I had just started heading. Like, I was stretching to do like 45. Now I could do an hour without looking at my notes.
Sure.
And so I would now I ask towards the end of my set, I'm like, hey, do you want me to do this joke? And then they say their joke, and then it's like they get out their system because it's almost like they didn't get the full you know experience if I don't do their favorite joke. So, So
it's like an encore. It's like a concert. It's pretty
really
crazy.
It's a callback that you know. Take from show to show.
But on my special, when I do my special, I don't want to do any AGT joke. I don't want to do not one because it's already on the internet.
Sure.
You know?
So when are you doing your special?
Well, I want to record it late summer.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see. But I think I'll do it in Orlando. We'll see what happens.
Is it gonna be on Netflix, or?
I mean, if they want me, you know what I mean. I can't just be like Netflix. They got to be like yes or no. You know what I mean? Yeah. They won't take. What's that? Owen. What's that? His white comedian.
Gary Owen.
Gary Owen. They won't even let him do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he has
Really?
Yeah, and he has
I'm shocked.
hilarious. He has a bigger following than I do. So
You don't know who Gary Owen?
No.
Gary Owen, he mainly
he's
does
huge.
black rooms.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
he was
he's
on Kevin
hilarious.
Hart's. He's amazing.
Very funny guy.
He's super funny.
Super good guy, too. Nice guy.
He did.
It's a white guy that's owns black rooms. It's
Right,
crazy.
right.
Yeah, man.
That's a corner in the market right there.
Corner in the market.
That really is.
When you find your
That's
niche,
what I do
you
with
stick
rent.
to it. That's all. You know?
With the rent.
Yeah, with rent. I'm a white guy who always lives in a black neighborhood.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So what's coming up with you guys? Well, Preacher, where are you next weekend?
This is Gary Owen right here, bro.
Oh, look at him. Oh yeah, no, I know who this. I was just watching a video of him.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. No, I know exactly who this is.
Yeah.
You really need to get out of those black neighborhoods, buddy.
Yeah, I do know
Get
who
out,
that is.
watch some TV or something.
Yeah. I don't watch much. Where are you next weekend, Preacher?
Next week I'm in Portland, Oregon.
Oh,
Where I
nice.
was born, Portland, Oregon. I can't
right.
wait to go back there. It's gonna be dope.
Did you grow up with Ndamukong Suh?
Who's that?
The football player?
He's the only guy I know from Portland who's famous now. He's
He's a football player. Isn't
yeah, he's a football player.
he? He's a nose tackle for.
I don't watch
He was in
football.
Miami.
You don't watch football?
No. I don't watch football. I know.
Pulled out the
Here's
first
my black
first
card.
celebrity from Oregon I could think of.
Yeah. I don't know. I know Ian Carmel. I know. Ron Funches. Everyone stole him in Oregon. He was really from Chicago.
Yeah.
And people from Seattle like he's ours. You know. And then Portland's like, nah, he's ours. You know. Yeah, I don't. I know. Yeah, that's the only people I know are like famous.
From when you're in Portland, where are you going to be performing?
Helium Comedy Club.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. What about you? What are you doing next
The
weekend?
next weekend I'm just doing LA. The next out of town stuff is June 14th to 16th. We're doing a weekend at Comedy on State in Madison, Wisconsin.
Fantastic.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And where can people find all your social media?
Preacher Lawson, everything at Preacher Lawson, everything. My Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, my YouTube.
Made it easy.
At Preacher Lawson.
So your YouTube, how long have you been doing that video? Because I know that's a mainstay for
Cooking
you
with
right
a
now.
comedian.
The Cook with
Yeah.
me. I've been doing that for a year, over a year.
Oh wow, that's it. I thought you've been doing a lot longer.
No, man.
Because you already got what 150,000 followers.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But that's because of AGT.
Well.
That definitely helped out. But what happened was, I got people that come up to my shows now. They're like, I didn't even know you did stand up. It's like, you serious? They're like, yeah, I just seen you cooking thing.
Right.
And I was like, that's crazy.
You know what's funny though is on the second show last night, or I can't remember what it was. You asked, does anybody watch Cooking with a Comedian? Like nobody said
did.
yes.
Nobody said it.
And he still sang a little bit of the intro.
Yeah,
Nobody
yeah.
heard that.
But someone started singing with me. They just gave up too fast.
Yeah.
But there's been a couple times where I'm like, sing the intro with me, and then they just don't know the intro. I'm like, you're lying. You don't. You're not a fan. You are cooking.
No, those are pretty funny. And then you do ones I think when you're traveling as well, when you're on like vacation.
Man, I did, but no one was viewing that, so I just stopped.
Yeah.
So I'm the only
It
one
takes so
watching
long
it.
for yeah, you're the only one. No, but it takes so long for me to edit, and I would keep doing them, but I just can't edit them.
Right.
And once I find an editor that I can just send my stuff to, and then they just do it, because I don't feel like it takes too much time.
It does take a lot of
Cooking
time.
Cooking with a comedian takes 5-6 hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
Easy. You know what I mean?
That's
and
crazy.
I mean, 5-6 hours, I can be writing a joke. I could be like, doing something else that can be benefiting me besides. I don't know. There's something else someone can do besides me. So I'm trying to find someone.
Yeah, and you're
that
booked
can-
every weekend now, so.
Yeah, man. So it's like it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
Brian, you interested?
In editing his videos?
Yeah.
Not at all.
Oh, okay.
Said,
I was trying to help you out.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
I would have suggested that if that was. I would have done. I would do a terrible job. And
No, I need a professional.
Yeah,
editor.
yeah.
Yeah, professional one.
yeah, I'm not a professional editor.
Yeah.
I'm a comedian.
The part of your show.
Excuse me.
No, you're fine. The part of your show, like
Come
when
on,
you
brace it.
when you open up the mic and you're like, does anybody have any questions? That takes guts, in my opinion, to do, because you never know what they're gonna say. Like last night, some guy yelled out "floss," and your reaction was hilarious.
I don't even remember what I said.
You were like, "What about floss? What, you don't floss?"
Oh
You're
yeah,
nasty."
I
And you
remember
kept
that.
building it.
Oh yeah.
And then you
yeah.
ended it with, "I hate you." You know, it was just awesome. That was just too funny.
Cause he yelled at floss,
And
and
you're
I was
like,
like,
what?
what do you mean floss? Like, why would you even bring that up? You don't. Is that the thing that you just started doing? I don't
Right.
remember what I said, but it was. Yeah, I remember. He was this area.
He was over here.
he
Yeah.
was this
So what was
area.
his point? Why would he say floss?
I don't know,
We don't
man.
know.
I think he just wanted to be roasted. I'll do colleges, and then colleges, like college students, will just I'll do the question thing, and then it'll be there's always one girl. Could you roast me?
Oh, Jesus.
Could you roast? Sit down. No.
It's always the most sensitive person in the room, too. You know,
Yeah.
instantly going to get mad. You could just be like, look at your shoes. They're untied. How dare you? When I said roast, I didn't mean that.
You're getting personal.
Well, there was.
Yeah.
Wasn't there one comedian that made fun of skinny people?
Yeah, no, he didn't. It's
What
Spike
would-
Davis. He didn't make fun of skinny people. He said he liked big women. He said a big, beautiful woman. He goes, I like that. Woman came outside and was just like, you're making
laughed.
fun of skinny people. He's like,
Yeah,
no.
she got so offended.
I
She
just-
left.
I
I mean,
can't-
that's crazy.
I can't feel too bad for skinny people.
No.
I don't feel
us-
bad at all for skinny people, to be honest. I mean, if you have anorexia, like a disease, I guess you know, maybe I feel, that's
Still
bad.
look better than me in a friggin' normal outfit.
Yeah, but I just
Thank you for
just-
agreeing with that. That was good. Yeah, that's true. Fat guy. Anyway.
And bald.
I feel bad for
Oh, you just got to add that.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with being bald, man.
No.
Nothing wrong with
I have a look.
Austin 316.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
Nothing
do.
wrong.
Yeah.
I have a look.
Retired military.
That's right.
Retired military, fat,
military law
bald,
enforcement.
kind of Jewy
I
looking.
hate black people
Yeah.
type look.
I hate black people. Yeah.
First off, I'm a
That's
Jew. We're simpatico.
Are you Jewish?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, we're simpatico. We're together on a lot of things.
No, okay.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know what he is. We'll go into that.
See, he's a Palestinian. They're like this. They're argumentative. That's how they are.
I'm argumentative.
You're argumentative.
We just established. What did he do? He built a house on my mom's property earlier.
yeah.
I mean, come on. Seriously.
I said I was a Jew, and they're like, he's gonna build a house on your mom's property.
Yeah. Right now, this is amping up over there right now. So
It
this
is.
This might be a little too hot of a topic.
It all started because you were saying how you met his mother. And
That's how Israel and
Isn't that a
Palestine's
TV show?
conflict started? Because I said
met each
something.
Yes, it's your fault, Brian.
It is all your fault.
Brian, it's your fault.
I made a mess.
Alrighty.
No, it's all good.
We got to wind this down, guys. We got to get ready for your show here tonight. And got to do a little bit of housekeeping real quick. Guys, you want to follow the podcast, you can see it on iTunes, Laughable, Podbean, and soon coming Spotify, which is fantastic. You can check out Crossroads Comedy Project via Facebook and Instagram and iTunes. And if you guys have any comments or want to ask about who our next guest is or a question for our guest, you can always email us at crossroadscomedyproject@gmail.com. Having said that, Preacher, you got anything else, man?
Man, nothing. That's it.
You want to plug anything?
Follow me on YouTube, Cooking with a Comedian. I come up with an episode every Tuesday.
And you better
And,
watch that because that is
And learn
hilarious.
learn the
Absolutely.
damn song.
Yeah, you are cooking.
Yep.
Yeah. Check out my podcast. I do a very funny comedian, Carl Morales. It's called No Sir, I Don't Like It. It's on everywhere you get your podcasts. And BryanVokey.com for dates, at Bryan J. Vokey, Bryan with a Y, on all social media. Check it out.
And you want to know what's funny? Is he had told me you did a podcast, and he goes, "No, sir, I don't like it." I said, "Really? That's kind of harsh." He goes, "No, that's the name of the podcast." I actually thought he had said he didn't like your podcast.
But he called you sir, so that's polite.
Yeah, that's
The
true.
first time an Israeli's called a Palestinian sir.
There you go. Things are changing in my favor, Josh. That's right. No, we're actually
Trying to get you guys to fight.
no, we're actually
it
we're
doesn't-
actually
it
good
doesn't-
friends.
it
It's
doesn't
funny.
take
Off
much.
the air, we don't fight at all. We're like
No,
best friends ever.
I can
On
tell.
the air,
Play.
I rip.
I
We
can
rip
tell.
at each other.
We just
yeah.
play.
Yeah.
Ish, you got anything else?
No, that's it.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast. Really
Thank you.
appreciate
Of course,
you
thanks
guys.
for
Thank
having
you,
us.
man.
And so for Preacher Lawson, Bryan Vokey, and Ish Shalosh, I'm Josh Sardam. You guys have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you.